This is the part 2 of the 15.2, and we're starting this with the 4 stages of treatment and rehab. So here we've got the 4 different stages: the anxiety, frustration, motivation, and goal setting. Now, for anxiety, all of them will either help or they will hinder the treatment and rehab. So for anxiety, it's quite obvious that this is more likely to hinder it, as it can, give a sort of lack of sleep. The athlete is far more willing to turn down any treatments because they might be anxious about them in case they don't work, or if it makes it worse or something like that. And then when they're actually going through the treatment or rehab, that they're going to be more anxious that they're not hitting the right goals. So if they have short-term goals and they're consistently missing them, they're going to be anxious that they're not going to be able to hit them. They're also going to be anxious about the treatment not working. They could be anxious about this beforehand, during, after that it hasn't worked. And because of this anxiety, they might put it off. However, it might help in the sense that they won't take risks from fear of making it worse. So certain things, someone saying, "Oh no, try this, it might work." They're probably not going to do that, just through the anxiety in case they make it worse. They're just going to stick to what they've been told and stick to the correct treatments and not sort of branch off to something that anyone might have been told. And they may also, because of their anxiety, therefore research the treatments that they're going to get beforehand. So they sort of give themselves a knowledge and a basis to go on of what's going to happen. And it will also make them, do what it takes just to get through it. Because they're anxious, they're just gonna think, right, I just need to do what I need to do, get through it, and they'll be fine. And the next one we've got here is frustration. This is going to hinder it, in the sense it's going to give a lack of motivation, and they're going to sort of maybe give up the sport because they're getting frustrated that they're not getting further, it's not getting better, and that the treatments aren't working, and they're going to get frustrated that the treatments are taking too long and just give up and think, do you know what, I'll stop all treatments altogether. However, it might help in the sense that they're going to seek advice on alternative treatments. If they're getting frustrated that one treatment isn't doing what they need, they're going to go ahead and they're going to look for more and seek advice on which one would be better instead. The next one we're going to go to is motivation. So motivation, usually more helpful, but it's going to hinder it in the sense, if the training is too hard, they're going to become demotivated, and not want to do it, and because, they might be so highly motivated that they're going to start to set themselves unrealistic goals, and they're going to want to rush the recovery, so they're not going to give themselves enough time and their body enough time to heal and, remodel whatever injury they might have had. However, it's going to help because, motivation, it's going to make them work harder, it's going to make them train harder, it's going to make them want to do all the treatments and try everything that's going to help. And it's going to give them that sort of rush and get them excited to get back. And the last one here is goal setting. Again, kind of similar to motivation, they might set unrealistic goals and then they're going to get demotivated from not setting those goals. So if they're really aiming to set themselves loads of goals and for their treatment and what they're going to do, they're going to end up setting themselves unrealistic ones, and when they don't hit them, that's going to be really difficult for them. But slightly more helpful in the sense that it's going to help them stick to their program. So more goals, they're all about the goal setting, so that's going to help them with their program. And it gives them something to work at and, sort of smart targets that they can set themselves. So they're going to be measurable, they're going to be time efficient, and they're going to be, reachable for them. And we've got different treatment strategies that they might go through. And so we've got music, imagery, diary, sort of relaxed, stress, and involved. So music, this is going to help them sort of stay relaxed and stay calm. They're going to use music to keep themselves on track, and it can, different types of music can keep them either motivated, relaxed, different genres are going to help them. So if they need to stay relaxed and calmed, obviously going to listen to more calming music. During their treatments, they may choose to listen to more upbeat music to keep them motivated. Imagery as well. This is a really good one that a lot of athletes use. So they think of where they want to be and they imagine themselves in that situation. They imagine themselves hitting their goals consistently, and then they can imagine themselves getting back to their sport and what they love doing. Keeping a diary as well, this might also help them if, with their emotional state, with things like that. Also might help keep track of their progress, their goals, and it's just going to help them take them along and keep that motivation up. Relax and stress. This is going to keep them, this is different sort of techniques that they can use. So these are tools that they're going to use. They're going to have the relaxation. The part is going to keep them, keep them nice and relaxed, keep the anxiety at bay, and it's going to allow them to want to go through with more treatments. And stress as well. Stress is really can be a good thing for a lot of athletes because it's going to help keep that motivation. The stress is going to motivate them to keep going, and therefore they're going to probably work harder and therefore recover a lot faster as well. And the last one is staying involved. So they can do this by going, if they're a team sport, going to see games, staying involved, keeping the social aspects of their team and their sport, and, keeping up to date with what's happening, keeping up to date with their sport that they play, is going to help not make them feel so isolated, and then make the depression phase probably slightly easier once they have the realization, and it's just going to help them get through. And all of that combined, I've got two athletes here. We've got Scott Dann and Derek Redmond. So Scott Dann is a football player, and he has a knee ligament injury, which is a sprain, and it's a grade 3 sprain, so it's completely torn, and he is out for 8 weeks. And because of this, he's going to go through, obviously, the different stages. He's going to go through inflammation, repair, and remodelling phase. And he's going to go through all the different emotions. So if we look back all the way, so he's got a grade 3 rupture here, right? A grade 3 rupture here, sorry, on his ligament, and because of this, he's going to go through these stages of grief. So he's going to go through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And because it's a fair amount of, it's quite a long time to be out of it, he's going to have that acceptance phase. He's going to accept that it's okay, and then he's going to go through it. He's going to go through the 9 emotions, and he's going to go through his treatments and rehab, and he could have used any of these treatment strategies to get him through it, and therefore he's going to be back to playing after 8 weeks. However, we've got Derek Redmond here, who's got a torn hamstring, which is a strain, so he's got a rupture here. It's the grade 3, and this unfortunately ended his career. So his sort of 9 emotions and his stages of grief are going to be very different to Scott Dann, who realises he is going to be back to playing soon once he gets his results after he's been checked up by doctors that he can play again after 8 weeks. It's just 8 weeks is a long time, whereas Derek Redmond, the injury was so severe, and athletes don't have a particularly long career anyway, so by the time it would have healed, there wasn't much point in him getting back to it. So unfortunately, this one injury ended his career, a very famous moment in athletics, but ended his career. Therefore, the treatment strategies, he wouldn't really be using those as much to get back to his sport, but he could use them in the sense of getting his goal, so he can, at least go to the gym and have some training sessions rather than actually get back to his full athletics career.